What's going on, guys? We're going to do some futures watching here. So what we're looking at is the NASDAQ 100. I've got a few supply and demand zones on the chart here. So if I kind of just briefly go over this, these supply and demand zones, I want to quickly point out here. So we're looking at the 5-minute time frame. Now we've got these low of days here, right? So the low of day here, I'm going to mark as that initial demand zone. 15,107 to a range of around 15,122. That's going to be our bottom demand zone here. That's the day's low. Now, what I was looking at in the overnight session here, again, 5-minute time frame, we're just looking at today's price action from midnight until, current time. So if we kind of notice here, 3 in the morning, 5 in the morning, and then around 5:30, this was acting as a level of support here. Okay, so it was acting as a level of support. Price would come down, test this area, kind of bounce, test this area, bounce. Now, when we put in the move off the open, okay, that original move off the open came up to the 200-day moving average, which is up here, and then fell down, right? So as we fell down, we came back down to this original demand zone here, and we broke all the way down. So this technically would turn into supply. However, we've gotten back above this area, and now I'm waiting to see if the bulls continue to hold this as demand, right? So it was a previous area of support that got broken down, that turned into an area of resistance. You can see here at 7:20 in the morning, it was acting as an area of resistance. It was also acting as an area of resistance here at 7:45. Okay, so this box here would have turned from demand to supply if we would have stayed under this zone and continued to work down. Now, being that we've broke back above this demand zone here, we're currently back testing again for about the second or third time. So what I really want to see here is, do the bulls continue to hold this as a short-term demand zone, or do they kind of go ahead and give it up, right? If we give it up, this is going to turn into supply. This box will get changed from green to red, and then we can go from there. So you can also see here, I've got a few areas of resistance, which is going to be supply here at around 440, also 530, and then also here just about an hour ago, it was acting as a level of supply. We've got our high of day here underneath the 200 period moving average, and then we also have some supply here as well. So we're just going to kind of watch. Watch this price action and see exactly how these supply and demand zones kind of play out, right? So currently we're trading below the 200 as well as the 20 period moving average. So technically there was a short position for a scalp that set up here at around 9:30 a.m. Entry candle would have been around 9:35. Currently, down around 15-20 points at the moment here. So we are losing this short-term demand zone. If the bulls don't continue to hold this, I could see us falling back into a range of around 110 to 120. That would be the range that I would be looking to see hold next. So we could be looking at a potential bounce zone down here between 110s and 120s. That's definitely going to be something that we need to take a look at. But again, we kind of have to just watch the price action here, see if the bulls can hold this current demand zone. And I have it, it's not going to be exactly to the penny, right? Because these are zones. So this current demand zone that I got, I have it drawn out from 151 all the way up to 163. So it's currently in this area here. Again, price action is testing this area. So what you don't want to see here is, you don't want to see us start to close below this area, okay, and then have preceding candles start to follow through. Now, if someone is playing pure price action, this is, a potential load zone here for a potential bounce, right? Now, how high does the bounce go is yet to be determined. You have the 20 period moving average sitting at the 74s. And then you've got upper supply at around 200, right? So if someone was going to play the bounce, they would be looking to play this area here and then kind of use any close below this area as a stop, right? if someone's kind of waiting for the short position, you would want to see a candle close below this demand zone and then get a preceding candle to kind of confirm that area to play into the 120s to 110s on the NASDAQ futures. So, you know, that's essentially what we're looking at. Currently, futures are down 113 handles on the day. You know, kind of gave back a lot of the push up that we had yesterday. So again, you know, it's you got to give the bulls the benefit of the doubt, right? You know, until we really start to lose yesterday's lows, you know, just continue to give them the benefit of the doubt. Expect there to be a little bit of choppiness action. Expect there to be a little bit of you know, consolidation, distribution, especially coming off of a big day like yesterday. You know, in the main stock that was kind of rallying this higher was that Nvidia stock. I mean, Nvidia stock was an absolute rock star yesterday. What I'm looking for here is to see if we can push back into the 20 SMA and potentially get over. Again, you know, kind of coming into this demand zone, holding as of right now. There will be a potential short position through 147s. That's the area that I'm going to be looking at here. 147s, potential short area back down into the 120s to 110s. So we just kind of have to see how that plays out here. See if we can hold this current demand. So all we're really mainly looking to see here is just to see if this current demand zone can hold. You know, look, see if we can push into the 75s on the NQ futures. If we can't and we come up to the 75s and then we lose the low the bottom of this demand, which is going to be around the 47s, potential short here below the 47s. Again, you know, you've got that day's low down here between the 120s and 110s. That would ultimately be what I'm looking to target. So as we get the push into the 75s, it's one thing that we're going to kind of continue to watch here on the NQ futures. We're going to continue to watch into that 75 area, which is the 20 SMA. Expect the price action to be a little bit slower coming out of the New York lunch hour. So you can really see, from the New York lunch hour here at around 9 a.m., we kind of hit that top supply. We kind of came down to the 20 SMA. We did put in a little bit of a bounce, however, never took out supply or the top of that range here and kind of fell down into demand here. So currently, as we're breaking down the NQ here on the 5-minute time frame, what I would be looking for here to see is where this candle closes. There's 3 minutes left until this 5-minute candle close. So, if we start to break down the 48s, 47s, I would be looking for the push back down into the day's lows here. Again, price action is going to slow a little bit as we get into later on into the day, right? Again, just want to see if this area can hold here. Five-minute time frame here on the NQ. Just getting out of that New York lunch hour session. So if the bulls are going to hold, this would definitely be a good spot to hold. You can see the big decline ever since getting rejected at that 200-day moving average, all the way back down to the day's lows with a little bit of a 50% dead cat bounce retracement here. And now we're kind of back testing this breakout, right? So big drop, a little bit of a dead cat bounce, coming back into this zone here to see if this zone can hold. If this zone can hold and we can make the push higher, potentially maybe we can see, you know, another 50 handles on the NQ before the end of day. But again, you know, as it gets later on in the day, price action starts to dry. The volume has been declining here, so any bit of selling pressure here can definitely wash us back into the 5120s to around the 1510s. So, you know, definitely something to kind of keep in mind here. Now, obviously, if we do lose the day's lows, that would definitely also be something of interest here. Again, you know, I'm also looking at the 47s, 48s for a potential washout here, because if we can start to confirm the potential 47s and 48s, you know, we do have a good 15-20 points that we can kind of wash out there. So that's definitely something that I'm going to be keeping my eyes on here. But, you know, just from a pure supply and demand zone kind of outlook, right, you can see, you know, in the overnight session, it really acted as support. We broke through to the high side here, got rejected at the 200, and then once we came crashing down and lost this area, you can see it was acting as a level of supply. But once we got above this area, have back tested it multiple times, you have to respect the bulls in this particular situation here, because if they can hold this, then this is going to be a potential buy zone going forward. So that's why the price action is starting to slow down a lot here. Price action is, you know, not really showing significant moves to the upside or the downside here. This is a little bit of a battle zone between the bulls and the bears. So we definitely have to give it a little time to see if it's going to play out. Again, you know, especially when you're day trading these, you know, futures like this, you can't expect them to just continue to go. You've got to give them a little bit of time here to kind of work out, right? Especially when we're at a level of a previous battle zone, right? So what I mean by that is overnight session acted as support. Once we finally broke through this current level that we're at, it was acting as resistance. Now, if you kind of look at this big green engulfing candle that we had here around 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we broke through this price action, put in that high, and then have now back tested this area. So again, you know, we really need to see if this area is going to hold. And as far as the 20 SMA plays today, you can see we had the first one set up here at 5:55 in the morning that ran into the 200. We had the next set up here at 6:45 after market open here, got confirmed at 6:55, put in that low of day. The next one here went from a price of 73s all the way up to 207, so that was about 30 points there. And then the current 20 SMA play short for the scalp, you know, confirmed at 67, 66, and is put in these lows here at 49, so about 10 to 15 points. So again, if you're looking from a pure scalping perspective, you know, each and every single one of these 20 SMA plays has set up, it's done its job at least 15, 20, 30 points at a time. But again, from a bigger, you know, kind of supply and demand outlook on the NQ, you know, currently right here trying to back test an area of supply. And this area of supply goes all the way back to the overnight session. Now, it was a little bit of area of resistance, you know, from the hours of around 7 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time. You know, you can see once we put in those new lows, we were really chopping around this zone. This box here originally, you know, going back a couple of hours now, was red, because once we lost this area of support here, once we lost this area of support and we were testing and getting rejected, it was an area of supply. Once the 8 o'clock candle happened and it closed, we got back over this zone and now have been testing this current zone as a new area of demand. So again, you know, your previous areas of resistance, look for them to get confirmed, look for them to get back tested and act as areas of support. Again, if you're scalping, you have to respect these bigger levels here. You can see us start to push higher into the 20 SMA here. Again, doesn't mean that the bulls are out of the water and it's time to just go long. Your time to actually have gone long was maybe about 10, 15, 20 minutes ago. If you're going to play these demand zones, basically sit in these demand zones, allow them to work. I've been sitting in this demand zone for the past 5, 10, 15, almost 20 minutes now. Again, playing very, very small size on the TOPSTEP account, up $75 on just 5 contracts. I'm playing 5 micro contracts. Again, this is your guys' first time watching me. I do not play minis, just due to the fact that because on these funded accounts, you don't have enough drawdown risk, right? You know, you really can't sit here and play minis. Now, you know, I have played minis. I do play them if my account is padded up very nicely. But again, you know, it's like this, right? It feels great when you hit a winning trade on 2, 3, 4, 5 mini contracts, but it doesn't feel good when you have to take that loss, right? Or sometimes when, you know, the stocks are consolidating, they're going up and down, especially on the NQ 15, 20, 25 points. You know, that's a lot of risk and drawdown for one particular trade, right? There's honestly no real fucking rush to you know, pass these challenges, or in my case, when you're funded, there's no real rush to put your foot on the gas and try to make, you know, $10,000, $5,000 in a day, when, you know, one trade could potentially blow you out and blow up your account. It's not really about that. It's about, you know, kind of stacking up multiple accounts. It's kind of stacking them up nice and slow, trading in and out, using your risk. So right now, NQ has closed over the 20 SMA, looking for the confirmation candle here. So this was a good last candle push out of this demand zone that we've had. Again, you know, the next area really of resistance, going back to that overnight session, you can see us, you know, 4:30 in the morning here Pacific Standard Time, 5:30 in the morning, and then you can see here at around 9 a.m. also was acting as resistance. So if this move continues to push higher, I would definitely look for another 15, 20, 25 handles on the NQ into 15,200. That would be the next potential zone where we could get rejected. Anything over the 200 area definitely has another 36 handles, 35 handles to push into the 200 moving average, which you can see right off the open. We were rudely rejected here and then put in that low of day. So again, you know, just kind of watch here. Again, up on the 5 micros here, 162.50, 167, kind of bouncing around here. You know, I don't really have no profit target in mind here. Again, I'm in here down at the bottom, so, you know, I will give it a little bit of room to kind of run, or, you know, stop me out somewhere close to break even. So I'm not too concerned. Currently up, you know, 270 on the day. You know, after this trade could put it close to $400 or $500 on the day. But, you know, like I'm trying to, you know, the point I'm trying to get across here is be patient, right? Be patient. That's the main thing, right? You're going to come into a level of strong resistance here. You can see it prior. You know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to kind of look at the chart and understand that this area around 15,200 has been acting as, you know, serious resistance, right? You know, essentially all day since the overnight session opened up, since London session, whatever the fuck you want to call it, you know, pre-market session, this area has been acting as an area of resistance, right? So in order for the bulls to really get any steam or any juice behind them, they're going to need to close over 15,200 and then start to build above that, right? Ultimately, what you would want to see is this 20 SMA here is very, very flat, right? So what it's showing you is there's no really clear momentum, right? The bulls are not really in control. The bears are not really in control. Right now, we're essentially stuck with inside of a range. This range, you know, is about 100 to 125 point range, right? So essentially what you're looking to do is play the bottom of the range back up to the middle, and then if you're in the middle of the range, which we currently are now, you're looking to just take little scalps into the upper portion of that range. When you get into the upper portion of that range, you want to be flipping your bias, selling down to the middle of the range, and when you're to the middle of the range and you start confirming some of these middle areas of support, you want to play back down to the bottom of the range. You know, days like today, you know, they're not the best price action wise, right? So it's like, it's not really like, you know, you're going to make a bunch of home run trades. Like the real trade that essentially came this morning was when we got rejected here and we put in this massive red candle, right? The thing to look at was the 200 SMA. Okay, so the 200 SMA, we never closed above it. We got rejected and we started to pull back. As soon as we started to pull back, you could have used the low of day or any close above the 200 as a stop and essentially just sat your ass short all day into the bottom of the range. Now, we had a 20 SMA kind of scalp play set up here at around 6:45 in the morning Pacific Standard Time. You know, that didn't get confirmed until 6:55. A 1-bar stop would have put your stop up in this area. Okay, your entry would have been on this candle here, and essentially you would have ridden that into this demand, held a runner, ridden it down to the new low of day, and then just got the hell out of the trade. So again, you know, as we continue to push up here, I'm currently up 192, 190, 187, kind of bouncing around 200, 205. So as we continue to push higher, and again, and this is on 5 micros here, so you really don't need to play, you know, that big of a size, like, you know, to make decent amount of money. I mean, you have to look at it, you know, average minimum wage, I don't know, you know, 15, 16, $20. How long does it take an average salary, someone to make, you know, $180 on the day? You know, is it 5 hours? Is it 10 hours? Is it 8 hours? You know, so essentially if you're looking at, you know, a 20, 30 minute work day here to potentially make $170, $180, you know, it's not bad, right? It's not bad. But I'll probably just start scaling out of these contracts because I don't want to give away too many profits. So if I sell here, you know, currently on the day up 313.20, and then my current stats on the day are, so I took 9 trades today, only hitting at a 68% hit rate. Largest winning trade was 217. Average winning trade is 117.92. And then the losing trades, I took 3 losing trades out of 6 trades. So losses are a lot smaller than the wins. So the average losing trade was 108. Okay, that was actually the largest losing trade as well. The average losing trade was 57.75. But you know, again, and that is what it is, you know, especially when you're not getting a day that's trending too high here in one particular direction. You know, you're going to get some losing trades, and when you get some losing trades, you just kind of have to battle through those losing trades and continue to just work your strategy, right? So you want to really work your strategy. You don't really want to kind of like put your foot all the way on the gas, especially if you're up $200, $300, $400. You know, on a day like today where price action's a lot slower, you know, the moves really came in just, you know, the first hour. You know, there's no real reason to kind of like force trades at that point in time. And if you see something and it aligns with your edge, go ahead and take it. But again, you know, you don't really need to kind of sit there and, you know, trade in and out of each single candlestick, right? And that's one thing that a lot of newer traders, you know, they get that feeling where, you know, they feel like they're not catching the move, right? They're looking at the, you know, the NQ be down 92 and they're like, well, I haven't made any money. Where I should be going long here, a potential bounce. I should be going short here. It's like, have a strategy. When your strategy aligns and it sets up, take the trade, right? That doesn't mean hesitate. That doesn't mean don't take the trade, right? Like if you have a strategy and you have an edge, well, you know, when that setup or edge presents itself, take the fucking trade, right? So it's like, that's all you can really do. And then once you're in the trade, manage your risk, right? So we don't sit there and we don't hope and we don't pray that this thing goes in our favor. We let the trade do its thing. You know, I've said it many, many times on the YouTube channel and for the guys in the Discord, we can't control the candlesticks after we're in them, right? The only thing we can do is control where we're going to take profits or where we're going to stop out. Whatever the candlesticks are doing after we've clicked the buy or sell button, you know, at that point in time, it becomes the instrument's job to work, right? It's not our job to work. All we have to do is manage risk. Manage risk. That's what you are. You're a risk manager. So whatever capital that you have on hand, you're simply managing that capital. Manage that capital accordingly, right? This is not, you know, a business where, you know, you're trying to gamble and make $1 million in one day, right? I mean, everyone wants to do that, but you know, the harsh truth is that, you know, it's not that simple. It's really not that simple, you know, and anyone who tries to make it out to be that simple is blowing smoke right up your ass. You know, I've been doing this for 8 years, and it took a couple of years to finally, you know, have that light bulb switch go off. And, you know, you really have to understand that, you know, if you're looking to do this, you know, seriously, and you're looking to do this for a long time, you know, and this is what you're going to use to pay your bills, your mortgage, to eat, to pay your car insurance. It's fucking tough, right? So it puts a lot of stress on you. So, you know, the best way that I can really break it down is that, you know, if I need trading income to survive, can I be out here acting reckless? Can I be out here throwing on too much size, too much leverage, but potentially to make one good trade, but then to lose it all tomorrow? Can you really do that? How the fuck am I going to eat tomorrow? You know, like, how am I going to pay my mortgage next month? You know, how am I going to put gas in the car? How am I going to, you know, take care of my priorities, utilities, cable bill? Like, how am I going to do that if you don't have any capital to trade, right? So you have to be very, very protective, but that doesn't mean you have to be scared, right? So there's a difference between being protective and being scared. A lot of people are scared of losing. A lot of people don't want to part with their money, but you have to take the risk. You have to assume the risk. You have to assume, you know, the trades, because if not, how are you ever going to know? And when you take the trades, analyze them, you know, journal them, write it down. You don't need a fancy software that's going to plug and play every single metric. Just write down the time you took the trade. Did you go long or short? How long were you in the trade? And what the hell were you feeling when you're in the trade? That's what you need to analyze. If the trade failed, did it fail because you failed, or did it fail because the market failed you? If the market failed you, that's fine. We live with that because we don't control what the stock is going to do once we're in the trade. That's okay. But if you're shooting yourself in the foot by snatching profits too soon, or, you know, you're not following your stop loss, or you're over trading just due to the fact that, you know, you're rushed to make some magical dollar amount in your head, then that's on you, and that's what you need to really work on. And I tell all my traders that I trade with, you know, every problem or mistake that you have, work on it in a series of 20 trades, right? So if your problem is over trading, then stop over trading. Take 2 or 3 setups on the day based on your edge. Take those setups, follow them to a T, and do that for 20 trades, right? Do that for the next 20 trades. If your problem is being up, you know, a couple $100 and then giving it all back because you're over trading, then when you make $100 or you make $300, whatever that number is where you kind of give it all back, stop trading. Can you do that for the next 20 trades? Can you do that for the next 20 days, right? That's how you slowly build the consistency. That's how you slowly build, you know, the right kind of mindset to take when you're trading. So again, here just on the NQ, we're kind of watching it, you know, pitter patter and try to hold the 20 SMA here. Again, if something happens in between now and the market close where we do lose the bottom of this range here, and this is no longer acting as demand, you know, there will be a short position below 147s. Again, treat it as a scalp, get in, get green, just collect your money and go about your business. But again, 147s on the NQ to the short side. To the top side here, we're stuck in between this range of supply and demand. So supply being top side here at around 15,200, and the bottom being around 15,155. So we got about a 50-point range here that we're in the middle of. What I would be looking for here is to push into this area, and if you're currently long, you don't want to wait until 200, but you want to be taking profits into supply, right? So there's a big difference between identifying where your supply is or your demand is and trying to just, you know, wait until it touches that exact price. You know, fuck, man, it's like if you know, are you really gonna, like, let's say for example we fall, you know, 5 handles short of 15,200 and then it comes crashing all the way back down, and let's say you're up $300 or $400. Do you want to give away $300 or $400 because, you know, it needed to hit your exact TP? Take profits into supply, take profits into demand. It's very very simple once you look at it like that. And if that's enough for you to start trading or stop trading on the day, then stop trading on the day. I don't know how many times I have to tell, you know, newer traders, what are you in a rush for? Why do you feel like, you know, to do this job professionally that you have to take 500 trades on the day? God damn it, if you make money, then stop trading. You know, if you're losing too much money, whether it's psychologically or because of psychological issues or because the market is just screwing you around, stop trading on the day. The sooner you understand that this market is going to be open tomorrow, and this market's going to be open next week, and this market was open long before you were born, you're going to make money. Okay, this market's not going anywhere. You know, there's no real rush. Okay, there's no real rush to you know, kind of try to sit here and play hero, right? Everyone wants to play day trader. Everyone wants to play day trader. Everyone wants to show off or tell this person or the next person, you know, you made $5,000. Everyone wants to play trading, but no one actually wants to trade, because when it comes time to it, there's so many traders who are scared to take trades. Why are you scared to take trades, but yet you want to be in this business? That's the first thing that you need to eliminate. Fear. Eliminate the fear. You're gonna lose. Get it through your head. You're gonna lose, and you're gonna lose a lot. I just read you guys my stats. I'm only hitting at a 63%. That means out of 10 trades, I lost 4, right? So I took 6 trades, I lost 3. That's damn near half. I lost more, or I lost just as many as I won. However, based on the stats, you know, let me bring them up again just so I'm not talking out of my ass. But if you kind of look at it, right, you know, so the gross P&L on day 382.50, the number of trades that I took was 9. So I took 9 trades today, average trade time being around 8 minutes, my longest trade time being 32 minutes and 28 seconds, right? So that's hitting at a 66% win rate. So how can you be profitable only winning basically half of the time? Because when you're wrong, you understand that you're wrong, and you get it through your head. So the total profit on winning trades was 707. Okay, 707. It sounds beautiful, right? However, I took losing trades. I took 3 losing trades out of 9. My largest losing trade was 167. My average losing trade was 108, and the standard deviation losing trade was 57.75. Okay, my average losing trade time was anywhere between 3 to 7 minutes. So that was the longest 7. The average was 3. So those are stats, right? That's breaking your ass off 50% of the time and still being profitable. That's what it actually takes. You know, it actually takes for you to acknowledge that you're wrong and understand that you're wrong, and you cut the losing trade and you look for the next opportunity, right? Look for the next opportunity. You know, I don't talk like this to go off on a tangent or make anyone feel bad or come off as, you know, some type of hard ass. But again, when you're managing money and you're managing your capital, this is serious, right? Like this is a serious business. This is not a freaking casino. You want to go down to your local liquor store and go buy a scratch off ticket. Like if you want to try to gamble, right? Put in 50, maybe you win 50, that type of deal. Again, you're managing assets, whether they're your own personal assets or they're prop firm assets. It really doesn't matter, right? You know, you got to be a little bit tighter to the vest, depending on if you're managing prop firm assets, because of the drawdown, right? You're going to have, you know, sometimes trailing drawdowns depending on the prop firm that you're on, or you're going to have a daily max loss or something like that, right? So again, you know, do you want to potentially try to hit a home run, but then you're losing trade, you lose your account? Or do you want to be in this business for a while and try to manage it accordingly? So what we're looking at here, currently getting rejected, we're not getting over the 15,200s as of now. We're closing below the 20 SMA yet again, coming back down into this demand zone. Like I'm saying, if we start to confirm this 20 SMA play down again and we really start to give up the, you know, the 47s here on the NQ, you could see a sell off into the close down here to, you know, 15,120. that's something to definitely keep in mind. The longer this price action goes sideways without taking out the high side supply here, the more chances we have of falling back down. Okay, and that is what it is. It's not time to guess, it's time to actually read the price action here and kind of go with the flow. As of right now, we're stuck in between the middle of the range. If you look at the top side here and you look at the bottom here, where are we at? We're right in the middle of the range. Generally speaking, when you're in the middle of the range, price action is very, very choppy. What's going on? A little bit of distribution between bulls and bears. What does that mean? There's no one can make up their freaking mind about where the price of the asset wants to go. That's all that it is, right? Doesn't mean that you need to be trading long every green candle and short every red candle. Wait for a significant level to get broken before you actually start getting in, and then once you're in it, manage your risk accordingly, right? So again, let's speak as an example. Let's say, for example, this does close below the 20 SMA and the next candle starts to confirm. Understand that you're in a level of demand, so it doesn't have to continue to break down through the lows here. It can get snapped back. Very aggressive little sell off here. So if we do get the confirmation, understand that if we don't get below the 47s, we could snap back. And if we do start to climb below the 47s, well, then we want to be taking profits on the way down into the next demand zone. That's going to be kind of what we're watching here towards the end of the day. Again, it's 10:30 in the morning Pacific Standard Time, so we got a few more hours of this market being open. What's going to really happen? We could, essentially close here on the day. If you kind of look at the hourly chart here, let's see what we're doing on a bigger scale here. So look at the hourly chart. Last hour's lows is kind of sitting down here at the 47s. This hour's lows is sitting down here at the 47s. So what's that level we're looking at? Short 47s, right? So if we start to lose the 47s, we want to play this back down at least into the 34s, and then from 34s down into the 20s. That's what we're looking for on the NQ futures. So again, as this price action starts to continue to go lower, that's what we really want to look for. If you look at the daily chart and kind of see where we're at here, we're essentially giving back all of today's gains, right? So the initial pop, we're giving it all back here. Again, we've got that hard line in the sand at around 15,014. That's the major level that we're going to be looking for continued selling pressure going forward. Again, I'm only going to use the daily levels when I'm coming into the day. Like I want to know, right? So, what I do in this example is, when I go to the smaller time frame, this level here is going to have the market sell off, right? That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. And it's way down here. Okay, so if you kind of go back a few days, demand, bounce. Now we're back in the middle of the overall range over the last few days. If you just kind of look at today's price action, right, this is where we stand. So it's all about analyzing this shit in real time and being able to do it very, very quickly, right? The decision making needs to be on point. And it's like, don't second guess yourself. What is your edge, and does the edge present itself, right? So what I would be looking for here is losing those 47s, confirming this play below the 20 SMA here for a potential short. And if we can do that, let's see if we can play a little bit down here into this range. And I want to be selling into this demand. I'm not expecting it to go down all the way here to the prior day's lows. It's not what I'm expecting. What I'm expecting is to play from supply to supply to supply, from currently demand to demand to demand, right? That's how you look to play it. It's not rocket science. So we have broken this prior price action here. Let's see what the price action wants to do now. Again, multiple times now, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes, we were previously trying to hold this area of demand. We did get the pop over the 20 SMA. It's got rudely rejected, right? So what does it do this next time it tests the bottom of the range? Do they give it up? If they give it up, we're going to see an extended wash, right? If they can hold yet again, it just puts us right back into the same range that we were trading at. So definitely keep an eye on it and see what's going on. Gotta see if we lose the bottom of this demand. You know, let me know what you guys traded today. You guys even futures traders? You guys trading options? What did you guys do today? Nvidia put up a hell of a candle today as well. You know, if anyone trades on the option side of things. Caught it for a small piece. I also caught Meta to the downside for a small piece as well before I flipped over to the futures side of things. I only trade futures maybe about 25-30% of the time. Predominantly an options trader. That's where I came from originally, option side of things. But it's all the same thing. It doesn't matter. You're trading futures, you're trading forex, you're trading options, you're trading equity, trading crypto. It doesn't really matter. Anything with the candlestick and price action you can trade. It's all the same. Just depends on what you like to trade, you know? So basically just going to look to see if this finally wants to break down. And if it does want to break down and get out of the bottom of this demand, I'm looking to short this SOB. And not looking for much on it either. I'm just looking for a nice quick washout, and I'll probably take profits on the first move down. So let's see what we do here. We're testing the bottom of this previous 5-minute candle. There's your confirmation. Let's see if we can break through the 4.7s. Currently in this short position here. Again, very, very small size. Trading a few micros here. Stop loss will be a close over the 20 SMA, which is going to give me about 15 points. See if we can finally get this washout. It's been tinkering with this level for the past hour. So if it can finally start to break through this, maybe we can start to test the 120s. Currently up 42, 37, 40. It's bouncing all around here. This is really not going to work out in my favor until we lose the 487s. Again, pretty much break even now, $10, $7. So again, you know, you can see it start to get sucked back up. And again, you know, this has been acting as a level of demand here, you know, going back to essentially around 8:15 Pacific Standard Time in the morning. So, you know, do they finally want to give this area up? Look for a quick wash down, right? Like I said, I'm playing very, very small size. I'm already green on the day. There's no reason to really give these profits back on the day. But again, you know, there's going to be someone on the opposite side of the trade taking the bounce from here, right? Because what do you do in demand? You buy in demand, right? What do you do at supply? Well, you sell into supply. So there's definitely people taking the opposite side of the trade of me right now. But again, you know, there's the flush that I was looking for. So currently up 90 to $100 on that flush. So I'm gonna sell one contract here, 107, 110.95. I'm gonna sell another contract there. For holding 4 micros, currently up $88 on those. Sold another one there. Up 72, 75 on 3 micro contracts, 69, 66. Getting a little bit of a bounce here. Want to see if we can get a little bit of a continued washout here on this move, or does it get sucked back up? So currently holding 3 micros at $49, profit 43. It's gonna sell another one here. So currently holding 2. Give me a little bit more here. What I would essentially be looking for, maybe selling down into the 33s if it can get down there. 33s, if not 20s, looking to sell down in that area. I'd like to see more selling pressure come in here. I'd like to see the volume step up a little bit. Currently only holding 2 micros, up $36. 40. I'll give you guys a stat breakdown in a minute as soon as I get out of this position. We'll just get out there. I don't have time to be messing around. So current total P&L on day 396.50. Okay, so 396.50. Now, you know, it goes to 13 trades, obviously, because I'm scaling out of that position. Now the profitable trades went from 66 to 76%. So that's not bad, right? I mean, 13 trades today total, 10 of them winners, 3 of them losers, right? So again, you know, largest winning trade 217, average winning trade $80, average hold time was 9 minutes, longest trade time was 32 minutes. So it is what it is. It is what it is. 396.50 on the day, you know, in the TOPSTEP account. I'm gonna just call it a day there. It's already 11 o'clock. There's no real reason to push it. But again, guys, that's probably it for me. I'm gonna be logging off here. If you guys enjoy the stream, I don't come on here that often. Mainly I'm streaming the pre-market and the market open with the guys in my Discord, Evolution Traders. So those guys are trading with me in the morning. That's predominantly when we make the most of our money, is that first 1 hour to, you know, hour and a half. And then those videos get uploaded to YouTube later. But again, that's predominantly where I'm trading with those guys at in the morning. And then, you know, if I'm bored or whatever, jump on here and mess around a little bit. But yeah, I'll see everyone on the next one.